I'm not a headmaster, first of all. Let's get that right. I think it's a situation that he's got to deal with. He's got to keep learning, he's got to keep evolving. He's a very good player, he's got the shots, but I think how he plays the situation, how he plays different conditions, how he plays different bowlers, it's a learning for him, and we've been constantly talking to him about it, looking at footage as to how he can improve. I think these are little things that we can do from a coaching point of view. You have to tell me. I think he bowled really well in the warm-up game, in the nets. He's definitely been working on that slower ball, which was his best delivery. And we've done a lot of footage. We've watched a lot of footage with Alan Donald, myself. So we've done a bit of work on his arm path, his arm speed while bowling the slow ball. So I think he's developing. He's done it. Win 5 games if possible. That's obviously everyone goes to win, but again we've got to be realistic, and I think we've got to take one game at a time. We still don't know 2 of our opponents, so we're still waiting on that. But I think taking one game at a time is very important. And dealing with that game without thinking too far ahead, and even game within that game, to break down the game into as many little segments as possible, and then win those little segments. I think winning those little moments in the game is going to be crucial. And I don't think we should look at 5 games as a whole. We should take one game at a time and even break that game down and win small moments in the game, and that's what I'll focus. Where is Hobart? Looks like it's going to take a bit of spin because they've already played a lot of games on it. So Hobart, again, we've got to go there and see, but looking at the TV, looks like there is a bit of spin in Hobart. Sydney traditionally helps spinners. We hear that we may get one boundary long and one boundary short. Again, we've got to go there and take it as it comes. Brisbane traditionally is a good wicket to bat on, a bit of extra pace and bounce, but big square boundaries, so helps the spinners. If they can bowl that back of a length, brings the spinners into play. Adelaide, long straight boundaries, short square boundaries, and traditionally this time of the year the ball might grip a little bit. But playing against India and Pakistan, who are 2 good players of spin, we've got to go there and assess the condition. It will help because our batsmen generally like pace on the ball. We are not power hitters, but we like to use the pace. So the big ground should help the batsmen as long as they're hitting the right pockets. We're running hard between wickets, and that's something we've been focusing on. Hitting the right pockets, knowing your field, and then running hard, finding the boundaries. So if we can get the right tempo, I think we'll be able to. I think the next game against Pakistan, we scored 14 twos, Pakistan scored 14 twos. So it was similar. We closed that gap.
It was a big gap against New Zealand. That's what I mean.
But we learned from that, and we got 14 in 14. So definitely it's a learning. Good point. Well done. I think subcontinent teams are definitely improved against pace. We've got so many people throwing with the side arm, and we've learned to play against the bouncing ball. I think subcontinent teams we definitely have, even Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they've definitely developed their game against pace, which is a huge positive. Why are we so fixated on openers? Why don't we? I've said this before. We have to look at Bangladesh as a team. Why are we so caught up with openers? That's a question I don't. Yeah, but we have to look at Bangladesh as a team. We must learn how to win matches. I said we have to try and win the second half of the game, like the second 10 overs with the ball. I think the more we play as a team, the more everyone understands their role. Every team you see in the world, they're so open with their batting order. Finch comes at number 4, Cameron Green opens. So I think we've got to be flexible. And in T20, I don't think you can have a fixed batting order. We have to have matchups. Some teams, like playing Mujib against Afghanistan, you cannot have 2 left-handers. You have to have a right-hander. So I think there is a lot more that goes into it than I think the thinking of proper openers. I mean, that has to be looked. What do you mean by proper openers? That's up for discussion.